What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Now, I know we've just come off a very positive video where we announced the new signing at Manchester United. Mason Mount has joined Manchester United, but we do have another story to bring you guys. And unfortunately, it's probably not the news that we were hoping for, and maybe not the news that we were expecting to get today. Today was meant to be Mason Mount Day, but literally as I was about to go live on the Mason Mount video, another story came out from Jamie Jackson, who's a really reliable journalist who writes for The Guardian, The Observer, and yeah, he's a Manchester-based journalist. He writes for The Guardian, The Observer in the UK. And Jamie Jackson is coming out saying the following. There's a few bits, so everybody listen up. Okay, here we go. So Jamie Jackson has said, this was literally about 10 minutes ago, okay? He says, Sheikh Jassim and his advisors are frustrated with the pace of the potential transaction, and they are unsure about the Glazer family's intent because there has been no communication regarding the fifth bid. So if anybody doesn't remember, the last bid went in about a month ago, right? So Jamie Jackson is coming out today saying that there has been no communication from the Glazers to Sheikh Jassim since their last bid went in. Zero, okay? I mean, that is just absolutely shocking, right? He also goes on to say that Sheikh Jassim is increasingly uncertain whether the Glazers will sell Manchester United, with the Qatari banker yet to even receive a response to his fifth bid of about 6 billion, which was lodged 4 weeks ago. I mean, it's not great, is it? It really isn't. It's really, really not the news we hope. Really, really not what we were expecting, guys. If anybody's just joining, I'll repeat it again quickly and I'll put it in the live chat. Sheikh Jassim, I'm going to stick it in the live chat as well, guys, so you can read it for yourself. I've just put it in the live chat. All right, so for anybody just joining, coming out from Jamie Jackson, as I said, he is a journalist from the UK. He writes for The Guardian, The Observer. He specifically writes about Manchester-based football. So he's a Manchester football correspondent. So he writes about Manchester United and Manchester City, okay? And the exact quote is as follows. Sheikh Jassim is uncertain whether the Glazers will sell Manchester United, with the Qatari banker yet to receive a response to a fifth bid of about 6 billion lodged 4 weeks ago. So as it stands, guys, Sheikh Jassim and his Qatari camp have not received any correspondence from the Rain Group, who are handling the sale, since the bid was lodged 4 weeks ago. Nothing. So any of these stories coming out saying that they're going to pick a preferred bidder, or they're going to do this, they're going to do that, all of them can pretty much be disregarded, I think, based on this story that's just come out now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there the potential that this is just a tactic from Sheikh Jassim to try and get them to speed things up? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is literally breaking in the last 10 minutes or so. I was about to do my video for Mason Mount and be all positive, and then I saw this pop up and I thought, well, what do I do here? I don't really want to talk about it on a Mason Mount video, because we should be all happy that we've just signed a player. But yeah, so I'm not sure what to make of this, to be completely honest with you guys. I have said for a while that I've always thought it was kind of between Sheikh Jassim and Glazer staying. I have said for a number of weeks that I didn't think that that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would win the club. That was what I kind of just thought, just in my heart, that I couldn't see Sir Jim Ratcliffe winning the club. I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's just so frustrating, isn't it? One day you get positive news, the next day you get stuff like this. Like, what are we supposed to think? It's so frustrating, guys. It really, really is. Really, really is. Yeah, as everyone says, aren't you sick of all this stuff? Yeah, of course I am. I really am. Like, yesterday we get stories coming out saying it's a matter of hours away. And now, as I said on yesterday's stream, that, I've never heard of the newspaper who write in Qatar, because I'm not from Qatar. Whereas this story coming out from Jamie Jackson, that is a journalist that I know, not personally, but somebody who I would say is reliable. He obviously writes for two reliable, The Guardian and the Observer in the UK are both like reliable newspapers. They're not trash newspapers. They have good journalists who do like really good pieces on interesting topics. So yeah. Yeah, and at the end of the day, guys, this is a news channel. This is the news that's come out. I'm sure every other Manchester United kind of platform will be talking about this news, because as I said, Jamie Jackson is a reliable journalist, so it would be stupid to ignore when you get a piece of news coming out. As I said, guys, it literally dropped. It dropped a minute before the Mason Mount official video went out. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? So this story comes out 1 minute before they announce Mason Mount. I mean, that's just completely destroyed the Mason Mount day today, hasn't it? Because every Manchester United fan is going to be wanting to talk about this. No one's going to be talking about Mason Mount anymore. They're all going to be talking about this new story that's come out saying that, ultimately for anybody joining, the story coming out of the UK today is that Sheikh Jassim has still not had any correspondence back from the Rain Group who are handling the sale since he put in his last bid 4 weeks ago. And the exact quote is that they are unsure about the American family, the Glazers' intent, because there has been no communication regarding their fifth bid. It goes on to say that Sheikh Jassim is increasingly uncertain whether the Glazers will even sell Manchester United, with the Qatari banker yet to receive a response to his fifth bid of about 6 billion lodged 4 weeks ago. So as it stands, guys, Sheikh Jassim is just as much in the dark as us. People saying, is the Qatar deal done? I mean, guys, no, the Qatar deal is not done. This story is kind of saying the opposite. It's saying that the Glazers haven't even gotten back to him. So as it stands, Sheikh Jassim and his entourage are waiting to even hear on their last bid, which was 4 weeks ago. 6 billion, that was what was being reported today from Jamie Jackson, who writes for The Guardian and The Observer. I've put the quote in the live chat if anybody wants to read it for themselves. But as I said, this story literally broke 1 minute before. It literally broke 1 minute before Mason Mount was officially announced. I mean, that is mad, isn't it? Like, what a way to completely destroy, a day of what should have been positivity, of celebrating Mason Mount and all the rest of it. Like, yeah, it's not great, is it? I did want today to just be positive. I did. Someone's saying I can't be bothered with United anymore. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It is frustrating. It is. But at the end of the day, we have all fought this for a little while. We have all said that it is between Qatar and the Glazers staying. It really, really is. And I know at the end of the day, guys, these videos, like, probably people don't like the negativity. But at the end of the day, I'm just reporting the news, you know? I know people want positivity all the time, but unfortunately, that's not how life works. So, you know, we have to bring the good and the bad. We can't just bring you good news all the time, unfortunately. I'm now going to give my opinion, as I always do. I've read out what the quote is. I've told everybody what's been said by a reliable journalist. I don't know what to think. Like, honestly, guys, you're getting a live reaction. I literally read this thing pretty much the same time as I've told you. Like, I haven't had time to process what's been said, so it is still very raw. So you are literally getting my live reaction to this story. If I'm completely honest, maybe it's a tactic from Sheikh Jassim to try and speed up things. Maybe he is frustrated about the speed at which things are moving. Yeah, it does say that they are. Yeah, it says Sheikh Jassim and his advisors are frustrated with the pace of the potential transaction, and they are unsure about whether the Glazer family even want to sell the club. There have been no communication regarding the fifth bid from the Rain Group, which was submitted 4 weeks ago. So as it stands, Sheikh Jassim, his group have heard nothing. I mean, that's mad, isn't it? You offer £6 billion reportedly for a club that's worth about 3.5, and then they don't even reply to them. I mean, what are these people doing? I don't know. I really, really don't know. I mean, if I'm thinking about it critically, is there a chance that maybe they're talking to Sir Jim Ratcliffe? You know, I'm just giving my opinion here, guys. This isn't what's being reported, but like, why would they not come back to a £6 billion offer? I mean, that's ridiculous. £6 billion. Like, they should just take that and leave. That's such a good amount of money. Somebody saying what paper is saying this. So the journalist who's come out with this is Jamie Jackson from the UK. He writes for The Guardian and The Observer, which, as I've said, obviously I live in the UK, guys. The Guardian and The Observer are good newspapers, okay? They don't put out trash stories. They don't. His name's Jamie Jackson on Twitter. He's got about 100,000 followers. He specifically writes for Manchester United and Manchester City. He's a Manchester football correspondent. I think United Stand have had him on their channel before, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this isn't another story coming out from Qatar or some random journalist who we've never heard of. As I said, guys, Jamie Jackson, in my opinion, which you might think is not worth listening to, that's up to you whether you think my opinion is good or not. I think he's a good journalist. That's why I did a video, because I think he's a trustworthy journalist and one worth reporting. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see if other other UK journalists come out with the same story. Like, obviously he's got this from somewhere. As I said, I'm sure this will now be picked up by other kind of platforms and stuff, and it will become a bit more widespread. As I said, this story literally dropped 1 minute before the Mason Mount video went out as official. So it's literally crazy, isn't it? As somebody says in the chat, I really, really do just hope that this is a way of calling out the Glazers. I do hope that Sheikh Jassim here is just publicly putting out information into the news to say that he's not happy with the speed of this deal. He's growing frustrated, and maybe he'll pull out, guys, you know, maybe. I mean, if I was him, I would literally feel like I've been completely mugged off. You've been in something for 9 months. You're willing to pay $6 billion for a club that's worth about 3.5, and they're not replying to him. Anybody who's just joining, we're talking about a tweet that's just come out from Jamie Jackson in the UK. I'll summarise it for you. He says, Sheikh Jassim is uncertain whether the Glazers will even sell Manchester United, with the Qatari banker yet to receive a response to his 5th bid of about $6 billion, which was lodged 4 weeks ago. This is coming out from Jamie Jackson in the UK, that as things stands, they have not... Sheikh Jassim still hasn't heard anything about his last bid. He still doesn't know. Now, let's just think about this rationally here, guys, all right? We've spoke about this quite a lot for some time. What's been reported for the last months is that Joel and Avram want to stay, okay? So maybe he hasn't heard back because they're still trying to convince Joel and Avram. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I know it's frustrating. I know it's upsetting, but maybe maybe this is just a tactic from Sheikh Jassim to try and speed up the transaction, you know? That is a possibility. We have to remember that. Again, I'd much rather be sitting here doing positive videos, but I do hope you appreciate that I want to report both the positive and the negative. I don't want to just focus on positive. Ultimately, guys, to be completely transparent with you, if I do a positive video about Manchester United, about the Glazers, blah, 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 the video will get loads of likes and we'll get loads of subscribers. If we do a video like this, which is honest, it's negative, but it's the truth that I'm reading, the video will probably get no likes and probably I won't get any more subscribers. So I gain nothing from doing videos like this, but I do think it's... you know, it wouldn't be fair if I literally just did videos about positive stuff. So I do hope like you understand that, and I do hope you still can kind of support what I'm doing. Let's have a read of a few comments then. Again, like if this was a video saying Qatar, blah, 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 positive one, it would get, you know, hundreds of views and all the rest of it. But people don't want to, you know, hear the negative stuff, unfortunately. Let's have a read of a few comments. Please do smash a like on the video, guys. I know it's not a positive one, but, you know, it does help the channel, and obviously... I'm doing this because I love it, so I do appreciate, you know, any support that you guys give. And yeah, do subscribe. Obviously, if we get any more information on this, we will obviously go live. As I said, I'm sure kind of this will start being talked about a bit more, but I literally saw it the second my Mason Mount video went live. I saw this story and was like, my face just dropped, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to talk about this on the Mason Mount video. Yeah, it is frustrating. It really, really is. Let's read out a few more quotes that's come in. So yeah, he ultimately says that Sheikh Jassim is uncertain whether the Glazers will even sell Manchester United, with the Qatari banker yet to receive a response to his 5th bid. He says that Sheikh Jassim and his advisors are frustrated with the pace of the transaction, and they unsure about the Glazers' willingness to sell because there has been no communication regarding the 5th bid that was submitted to the Rain Group 4 weeks ago. So as it stands, guys, Sheikh Jassim and his camp are in the dark. They haven't heard anything, okay? They're uncertain, they're frustrated, as we all are. I'm not really sure what else there is more to say about it, to be completely honest with you guys. Obviously, this isn't the news I was hoping for. I was hoping to just be talking about Mason Mount and positivity, and the Glazers are going to be going, but this is just where we are, you know? There's not really much else I can say, unfortunately. I do appreciate that, you know, everybody wants positive stuff, but that's just not how life works, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have a look if there's anything else coming in on this story, because my timeline is just a mix of okay, here we go. We've got another story coming in here, guys. All right, here we go. So this is some more coming out on this story from Jamie Jackson. Please do smash a like on the video. Brace yourselves for this. So Jamie Jackson goes on to say, Sheikh Jassim's last offer was a take it or leave it price because he and his advisors are frustrated with the pace of the potential transaction. They're unsure about the Glazers' intent because there has been no communication. So ultimately, guys, the bid that has been submitted is, the bid that has been submitted is the best and final offer from Sheikh Jassim. It's a take it or leave it. And the story goes on to say that they've not had any response for 4 weeks since the bid went in. So that could mean anything, okay? That could mean that the Glazer family is still talking about it. It could mean that they're still trying to convince Joel and Avram. There's so many different avenues here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. I know it sounds negative, but let's try and think about this rationally, okay? Maybe the Glazer family is still discussing it. Maybe they're still trying to convince Joel and Avram. At the end of the day, guys, this isn't a simple transaction. There's 6 people involved in this, 6 Glazers who own the club, right? It's not as simple as you go and buy something off one person and they have to decide yes or no. 6 people have to decide yes or no. Each of those 6 people will have their advisors. They'll have different agendas. So it is a complicated deal to do, okay? But it is absolutely unacceptable that they've had no communication for 4 weeks. I mean, what on earth are they doing? That is just unacceptable. It really, really is. It's disgusting. That's all I'll say. It is absolutely disgusting. Somebody, he's saying that they've put in a bid of around 6 billion, take it or leave it, right? And to not even respond to them for 4 weeks. I mean, like, what kind of business management is that? Like, who runs a business like that? It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And like, as I said, there's more and more people now talking about this. All right, so there's another bit of the quote here that's come out, and it says, this is again from Jamie Jackson. It says, Sheikh Jassim is aware the lack of clarity means the situation could change quickly in the Manchester United takeover process. So I want you guys to remember that, okay? Let me read that one out again for you, okay? Another bit from this story. Sheikh Jassim is aware that the lack of clarity means the situation could change quickly in the takeover process. So ultimately what that's saying is, either way, okay? They've not been speaking clearly. Sheikh Jassim and the Glazers and the Rain Group have not been communicating, right? So ultimately what's that saying is, it's not like it's been dragging on and they've been talking and they're discussing fine details. Ultimately, we will get a yes or no. That's pretty much what this Sheikh Jassim latest little quote is saying. Because there's no clarity, nobody knows what's going on, the situation could change very quickly. So it could be tomorrow we get a here we go, or it could be tomorrow that we get the Glazers are staying, you know? That's ultimately what is being said. Do smash a like on the video, guys. Please do subscribe. Obviously, when we get more positive news, we will go live. We're not usually this negative. So do subscribe and hit the notification bell. As soon as we get more information on this story, then we will obviously report it. Welcome to anybody who's just joining in the last few minutes. Yeah. Someone's saying, can anyone tell me where we can read this? All right, I'm going to put it's all over Twitter, guys. If any of you guys use Twitter, then obviously go and look on Twitter. I'm going to start putting the quotes into the live chat. The guy's called Jamie Jackson. He writes for the Guardian and the Observer. As I said, in my opinion, he's a credible journalist. The Guardian and the Observer are 2 good newspapers. They're not like trash newspapers. All right, there's one of the quotes. Anybody asking about the quotes, I'm just dropping them into the chat now. And as I said, guys, we're not comparing to other channels, but I'm almost certain within the next half an hour, every other channel that every other Manchester United channel that you follow will be doing a video on this. And as I've always promised you, I will try and do those videos as soon as the news comes out and we can then discuss it. So please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. Yeah, obviously, I want to bring you positivity. I really, really do, but that's not how life works, is it? So let's have a look. I'm just trying to get them all in the chat. There's quite a few more quotes, but I can only put 200 characters in at a time. So if anybody if anybody has Twitter, go on Twitter and look and type in what was he called? Type in Jamie Jackson, and you should be able to see all of the tweets coming out. But as I said, it's a fast-moving story. There's lots more bits coming out just as we're live. There's lots of other stuff coming out. Yeah, I mean, everyone's so focused around the Mason Mount story. Like, it was a great time for this story to come out because it's kind of been disguised by this positivity around Mason Mount, you know? Literally, as I said, this story started coming out 1 minute before the Mason Mount deal was announced as official. Yeah, I mean, it's mad, isn't it, guys? It really, really is. And obviously, it's disappointing. As I said, guys, I want to bring you positivity. I really, really do. But that's just not how life works, unfortunately. So I hope you do appreciate that. And yeah, I know that usually we're quite positive on this channel, but I'm just in a bit of shell shock, to be honest with you. I just don't understand how the Glazers can't respond to somebody for 4 weeks. I mean, that's just unacceptable on any level. Somebody's offered £6 billion for something that's worth probably half of that, and you don't even respond to them. But you do have to remember at the end of the day, as that last quote said that I just read out, the lack of clarity, no one knows what's going on, right? The lack of clarity means that anything can happen, you know? Anything can happen in the next few minutes. Nobody knows. The Glazers might decide they do want to sell. I honestly think, guys, that what the holdup is, as I've said, that Joel and Avram don't know if they want to sell, and and the other siblings are trying to convince them. That's the situation. It really, really is. Somebody's saying something about Onana. I don't think there's any news about Onana, guys. Someone's saying the Jamie Jackson tweet is old news. I mean, it's literally all over my timeline. Nobody's saying it's old news. I mean, I don't know why people would repost this old news everywhere. And how could it be old news? Because he says that they haven't received any communication for 4 weeks, which is how long ago the bid was put in. So I don't really understand how that can be old news, to be honest with you. It's literally all over Twitter. They're saying they haven't received any communication from the Glazers for 4 weeks, which was when they put in the last bid. Okay. At the end of the day, guys, it's not like we're saying that they're staying, okay? So you've still got to be positive. Ultimately, all that's happening is that they haven't been told what's going on, which ultimately means they're still deciding what they want to do. That's all you have to look at this news like. The Glazers ultimately haven't decided, or if they have decided, they haven't told anyone yet. They haven't bothered keeping in communication throughout this process, and because of that, Sheikh Jassim is uncertain. That's how I read it, okay? So don't think about it really negatively. Just kind of understand it how I've just said. They put in a bid 4 weeks ago. Sheikh Jassim hasn't heard back about his bid, and because of that, he's uncertain. I mean, imagine you put it this way, guys. Imagine you put in an offer on a house, right? And you were really excited. You thought, oh, I'm going to buy this house. It's going to be amazing. You put in an offer, and then 4 weeks later, you still haven't heard back from the estate agent about whether you've got the house, right? And then you go and see a friend, and they say, oh, are you excited about buying this house? And you go, well, I'm just a bit uncertain about whether it's going to happen. Do you see what I mean? So don't think about it like super negatively. It could just be like that. They could still be deciding, you know? But obviously, because of the amount of time it's taking for the Glazers to decide, that will make Sheikh Jassim uncertain. That will make him unsure about whether it's actually going to happen. That's the black and white of it. So let's try and not be too negative. Let's try and stay positive. Obviously, if any more stories come out about this, ultimately Sheikh Jassim's frustrated. His camp are frustrated. They're not happy about the pace that the deal is going. I think it's a positive that this story has come out in some ways, because hopefully it gives the Glazers a bit of a kick up the ass to actually move forward with the deal either way, either to accept the deal or to just say they're staying. Like, hopefully we get that now, because that has gone out publicly. So yeah, at the end of the day, maybe it's a tactic to try and get an answer out of the Glazers. Right. Yeah, someone says news readers needs. Oh, I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, if this was positive information, everyone would be really happy. But as soon as it's negative information, people are, you know, saying, is it true? Is it real? Are they just doing it to get clicks? Blah, blah, blah. Like, all of the news we get, you have to decide for yourself whether you think it's true or not. That's not my job to do. I'll give my opinion. You can either disregard my opinion or you can agree with it. That's completely up to you. I think this story is actually good in some ways, because it's giving us a bit of an insight into actually what's going on, because we're all sat here, you know, we're all sat here like lemons. Nobody knows what's going on. Everyone's getting frustrated. So in some ways, I do actually think it's positive, you know? I do think it's positive that this story is coming out. It's positive that we're getting a bit of an insight into what's going on. Yeah, I mean, people are saying, what about Sheikh Jassim opening the company? I don't know. You know, that was months ago at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different options. They might want more money. Who knows, guys? There was a story that came out a couple of weeks ago that the Glazers said that they actually now think the club's worth 6 to 10 billion. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows what's going on inside the Glazers' head. They probably don't even know themselves. So how are we supposed to know? How are journalists supposed to know? So everyone try and be positive. Obviously, I know the headline of the video is very negative. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it has been a month. The bid went in a month ago. We've heard nothing. We've heard Rio Ferdinand say something's happening tomorrow. Like, we've heard nothing. We really have. All we've heard is that Qatar are confident. That's all we've heard. Nothing else. So now coming out publicly that they haven't had a response, that makes sense, because if they'd have had a response, we would have known. It would have come out, wouldn't it? So, I mean, what actually is coming out today isn't that, it isn't that much of new news, really, is it, at the end of the day? Like, it's kind of obvious. If a bid had been accepted, we would know. If a bid had been rejected, we would have known. So let's just try and stay positive. Obviously, as I said, I do want to bring you all sides of the story. I don't want to just be negative or positive, because I think that's misleading. Yeah, that's how I see it. I'm still positive, guys. let's just focus on me for a second, okay? I'm still positive. I still think Sheikh Jassim's going to get the club. I think this is just the truth that's come out. I don't think it's anything particularly negative, okay? I think this is just the truth that's come out, that the Glazers haven't told them what's going on and they're still deciding. I mean, that is probably what's happening. And Sheikh Jassim's growing frustrated. That's all that's being reported today. Sheikh Jassim's frustrated, we're frustrated, and they're unsure whether the Glazers will sell the club. I mean, is any of that negative? It's all kind of obvious, isn't it, really? Like, at the end of the day, guys, as I've said to you many, many times, either the Glazers will stay or they'll sell to Sheikh Jassim. That's what I think. I don't think they'll sell to Sergeant Ratcliffe, and I'm uncertain about which it will be. I'm uncertain whether they'll sell the club. That's all that's being reported. So let's try and stay positive. Let's not look at this as a massive negative. Let's actually look at this as almost a positive, that we're getting a bit of an insight into what's going on. It's a confirmation that the Glazers are rubbish at their jobs and they're ultimately still deciding on what they want to do. And we've just got to, it's a bit of a reality check. We've just got to wait. We do. We have to wait. Put it this way, all right? If it's the first game of the season at home against Wolves and we don't have a new owner, then I'm going to be really worried, okay? But at the moment, I'm not worried. I'm not. Sheikh Jassim will do everything he can to get the club. He will, all right? Sheikh Jassim is going to do everything in his power to get the club. The Glazers know if they stay, they're going to be absolutely ridiculed. Everyone's going to hate them. It's not going to be good. It all logically says that the Glazers will leave, okay? That's all that you can picture of this situation. And this story coming out from Jamie Jackson, at first I was really negative about it. But now, after I've spoken to you and after I've had about half an hour to think about it, I actually think it's almost a positive. I do. You're probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about? How is it a positive? Because when you actually think about what Jamie Jackson has said today, none of it is any different to what we've all been thinking. Like, no one can sit here in the chat and say that Sheikh Jassim's 100% going to get the club. Impossible. We're all uncertain, okay? Sheikh Jassim is increasingly uncertain whether the Glazers will sell Manchester United. That's exactly what me and you think, isn't it? We're increasingly uncertain whether they'll sell. I mean, yeah, so that's fine, isn't it? So it's good that there is actually a journalist putting this out. And he says that Sheikh Jassim and his advisors are frustrated with the pace. I mean, so are we. We're both frustrated with the pace, aren't we? We really are, frustrated with the pace. So that's fine. We agree with that. And the fact that he hasn't received any communication about his bid, I mean, is that hardly surprising? I don't think so. You know how slow the Glazers do things. It's taken 9 months to get to this place. The bid went in 4 weeks ago and they haven't, replied to them. So I don't think that's surprising. I want to try and just, not be too negative, because I know people are going to be worried. I know people are going to be, threatening and all the rest of it. So let's try and stay positive. I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. Please do subscribe if you're new. If we get any more news on this story, we will go live, so hit the notification bell. Please do smash a like on the video on your way out. I know it's negative, I know people are worried, but as I just said, I'm feeling okay about it. I honestly think that this story coming in is actually quite positive, because in some ways it's just reinforcing what we all think, isn't it? It's reinforcing what we all think, and it's good that there is a story coming out like this publicly. And it's not just us sat here all just, worrying, saying, why is nobody talking about it? What's going on? Like, it's good that Sheikh Jassim is uncertain and that he's concerned, because we all are as well. As I said, it's not really new news. I could put up a tweet saying, Sheikh Jassim is uncertain whether the Glazers will sell Manchester United. I mean, are we not all uncertain whether the Glazers will sell Manchester United? We are, aren't we? We all hope it's Qatar, but nobody in this chat can say they're 100% sure that Sheikh Jassim's going to get the club. It's impossible. But anyway, guys, yeah, everyone try and stay positive. All right, we will, any more news on the story, we will go live. I'll catch you guys later, and yeah, peace out. Try and stay calm about it, and yeah, we'll speak later, guys. Lots of love. Peace out.